So we're live. What's up, everybody? Obviously, it's the 5th of November. It's election night. This little thing in America happens every 4 years. Presidential election. We got some senators up and about. We got the whole House going on. We got a bunch of local stuff going on, and it's exciting and it's spicy. It's spicy this year. But I got obviously my good friend Chris Brown does a bunch of stuff. But before we get ourselves canceled here, why don't you introduce who you are so people, when they see this and they're watching, they're catching it, all that fun stuff, they get a glimpse and an idea of what you do beyond us talking about the election. We're going to talk about some other stuff, some other pop culture stuff, and all sorts of cool stuff. So, yeah, why don't you just kind of go through who you are?
Hey, it's just Chris with the Laughing Rogue. He making the Slaughterville stuff. We just did a Slaughterville novel. We have board games. We have comic books. We have just about anything you need. We're going to be down in York, PA this next weekend from the 8th to the 10th at Save Against Fear Con. I look forward to seeing you there.
I will not be there, so you will not be looking forward to seeing me there.
You can drive.
What? Yeah, I could walk down. I could bike ride down. I don't know if I could drive down because it's hard to, steal a car. I mean, ethically borrow a car without asking permission. It's terrible. It's so terrible. But I was just at a con last week, I think, and it was an adult convention. It was a lot of fun. So look at me talking about the election and being all liberal. Who knew? But yeah, so obviously we have an election going on, and I kind of want to talk about that because it's the pop culture event, and we're all adults here, and I'm sure some people, if you can't handle being an adult, and I know there's plenty of people on the internet who aren't out of their parents' basement yet. I can have adult conversations and deal with other people's views and disagree with them, but hear them, and that's what this is going to be about. So if you get offended, you're upset, this doesn't fit your cup of tea, I don't know what to tell you. Obviously, it's a big deal in America, but it's spicy. So, what do you think of the election?
Oh, I think that it's going the way that I'm hoping it's going to go. But you never count it ahead of time. There's been a lot of stuff I've seen that screams shady, and I don't mean Slim Shady, but rather just odd the way that things are happening.
So let me ask this. I mean, because this is how I view it, right? I think that, look, I think Michigan is shady as fuck, but I don't think it's necessarily shady as fuck as the way, and not because Eminem's from Michigan, but that's also part of it. Slim Shady's not standing up tonight. But I'm so sorry, I can't help it. No, but the way Michigan reports is really odd because there's no uniformity in how it reports. You can play Georgia and Florida, whether you are a fan of how those states are turning out or not, they have reported very cleanly. But Pennsylvania has also reported relatively cleanly. And again, we could argue about shady, shenanigans, chicanery, whatever you want to call it. But Michigan has looked shady as fuck.
If you take, go ahead.
No, you. I interrupted you.
If you take a look at Michigan, and I'm honestly looking at it right now, the counties that are reported in are all 30, 40 points up for Trump. That's what I'm looking at right now. Some of them are already called red, but there is not one county that I'm looking at. Wait, I lied. Washtenaw County is for Harris, but other than that, every single one has been red.
I'm looking at it too, and let me pull this up because this is, I'm going to pull up a map because I'm making sure we can pull up a map here because this is what I mean, everybody. So hopefully everybody can kind of see this. So this is not the best position. So let me see if I could zoom in a little bit. Let me know if it's working. Is it working?
Yeah, yep, working well. Yep.
So obviously we have, this is blue, this is blue, that's, and that's blue. And those are dense areas.
Right.
So sorry if it's moving around a little bit. I'm trying to do as best I can. But the way Michigan reports is that all these counties, for the most part, can report at any speed they want to report. So this county up here, in this little dot, and I think everybody can see where my mouse is moving, can report at 9:49, and this one could report at 8:15 if they wanted to. And this over here, or this area, which is a big cherry farm area, don't ask how I know that. I just know weird things. It's wine country in Michigan. They could all report at 4 a.m. theoretically if they want to. So that's why Michigan looks really weird. And it just seems weird that Michigan is looking light blue. Now it's looking light blue, but again, I'm not exactly sure what the deal is with that. And that's why I say Michigan is a very, very, very shady thing. And I don't think there's necessarily election fraud going on. It just seems weird how it's being counted.
Now, where do you know what county Dearborn's in?
I don't. I thought Dearborn was Dearborn County. I mean, I thought it was legitly that. I don't know where it is exactly on Michigan. I'm not a Michigan expert. I just was
not a Michigander, huh?
There are limits to my expertise. But I was paying attention because Steve Kormacki on MSNBC was explaining that. And I think somebody on Fox was also explaining how Michigan reports. And if you don't want to take my word for it, everybody's watching this and seeing this, that's fine. But that's why Michigan just looks shady.
Yeah.
Because it's like you look at Georgia and Florida have gotten a lot of this stuff in quickly, and it's been relatively clean. We're looking at some mail-in stuff, and it's also just the way it's presented in legacy media too is also not exactly helping, I guess, build trust.
Yeah.
So that I mean, I don't know if I've been watching since 7 o'clock. I've seen Texas go red. I've seen it go blue. I've seen it go red and blue, red and blue, legitimately like 9 times. So like. At one point, they flip blue, then they flip red. And this is AP. This isn't even MSNBC hasn't called Texas or flip-flopped it. But the Associated Press has flip-flopped Texas a bunch. So, like, that's why I'm saying this is shady. So, like, it's just odd.
Right now, Texas with what, 66%? It's saying here. They've already called it with 65%, 66% in that it's already going red. So
yeah, it's already going red. And then we look at the Senate.
Yeah,
the Senate is fascinating.
That's doing a lot better than I thought.
Angus King is not a surprise. In Maine, that's not a surprise. This is a surprise. Actually, that's interesting. I'm surprised because Dan Olsom or Osborne, I thought was great. I mean, unless there's 2 Senate seats up. There are 2. I'm sorry. So Pete Rickens beat the Democrat, and then Dan Osborne is an independent beating an incumbent Republican in Nebraska. That is a surprise. Did not expect that. And this Ohio thing is wild. $480 million between these 2 candidates.
And that's the thing. The American dream used to be anybody could run for president. Now that's
a Senate race.
But either way, you can't run for anything unless you have the backing of millions upon millions of dollars anymore.
Chuck Schumer, I think 12 years ago, his was like $9 million. We would take $9 million all day for a Senate race. Now I understand when people say $9 million is $9 million, and I hear everybody. But the point I'm making is $9 million versus almost 500 million.
Mm-hmm.
There's a big difference between those numbers, where almost 480 million, and then we're not counting other things there. So I think it's fair to say it's 500 million.
Mm-hmm.
$500 million between two candidates in Ohio. That is ludicrous.
Mm-hmm.
I like campaign finance, and I think Citizens United is a good decision.
Why is that?
Because it frees up speech, which is equated to money, and it goes back to the New York Times v. Sullivan. New York Times v. Sullivan was the New York Times ran a very detrimental ad against the Alabama sheriff costing the election, and the Supreme Court decided 9-0, 0-9. I forget how they ruled in favor of the New York Times, saying that it was freedom of speech. Now, I don't think New York Times v. Sullivan was used as the defense on Citizens United, but I believe it's actually a better, more judicial defense. And I didn't base my thesis on that. I based my thesis on the idea that if you limit money, it's just going to find another way around.
Mm-hmm.
They're to limit it and dam it up. Let's just break it down, and then let's just put a lifeguard in the middle of the pool, and now we can watch where it's all going. I took a way more practical approach to my thesis at a liberal school. But that's how I feel. But I digress. But yeah, so I mean, I don't really know what else to talk about. I mean, I'm surprised about the Senate. And I'm not really that surprised. I expected it to go in the Republican favor.
Mm-hmm.
I did. I'm just gonna move that. I mean, they're right now 46 to 36. We know that they're probably going to pick up another 12 minimum.
And the House is already at 152 for Republican side.
I mean, the AP is saying it's at 110, 77 Dems, but again, 152 makes sense. Again, I expect the House to be more even. I don't really. I mean, I think it's a good thing when government's divided.
Mm-hmm.
I would actually rather the House go Democratic and the Senate go Republican, and if the president goes Republican, that'd be great. But I'll take the House and the Senate Republican presidency, Democratic or the Democrats. Which is, but again, I mean, it's interesting, right? What's going on but I don't know. How do you feel about Virginia? Because Virginia, to me, should not have gone red, and it looks like it is going red.
Well, I mean, it's not always just about past history. It's about, well, how have they done? And this is actually a referendum on how bad they've actually done. And there's what, if I'm looking at it, 60% in already, and he's quite a bit up in Virginia. So I mean, no, it doesn't shock me at all when everything's gone up like 4 or 5 times in price, and they have no plan. You've seen them. They have nothing to counter it, and all they have is blaming and arguments.
See, let me ask you this, right? So I've seen the ad where Kamala says, "I'm going to stop price gouging in corporate." And look, I mean, we're on StreamYard right now. I think that is price gouging. I do. I think that's an excellent example where StreamYard is price gouging. So I don't think StreamYard has the same employee component that a place like Target has. So I don't know how the Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, Tim Walz, that administration, both the previous and the new one that we're running on, is going to deal with that issue. Because I wrote it. We're not going to make calls. Started with like 1425. I believe. And now, what it is that it's 1625 or 1675 starting salary. It's of course, you see North Carolina, which they have also called. We're just trying to be prudent here because we don't want you to get. We don't want to that's you. We also don't want.
What do you mean?
Have fault to spare. No, I know.
I couldn't hear the last few things. Yeah,
Sorry.
no, it's okay.
So no. What I was saying is that Target, because what happened is that nobody wanted to work in COVID, they had to keep
Mhm.
on raising their wages to get people to come, which is typically how free markets work. But when you raise your wages, your loaf of bread goes up. So I don't
Mhm.
think it's it as price gouge. I think there's been a natural problem where wages have gone down to 1675, whether it was natural, forced, or they made a game plan to put mom and pop shops out of business,
Mhm.
or everybody had to pay more to get workers because who the hell wants to work in COVID, right? If the government's sending me a bunch of money and I don't have to pay my rent, and you have to give people a reason to work. So you
Mhm.
have to raise the price of goods to meet that work. But
Yeah,
I mean, that's
and
just
that's
basic economics.
right, and that was the whole thing where I've said that since the very beginning when they were trying to do $15-$20 an hour for working at McDonald's. Well, what's going to happen is exactly what happened. They replaced them with kiosks. They replaced them with machines, and of course you knew it was going to happen. Now, and you're paying $4 or $5 for a cheeseburger that was the dollar menu before, and they think because their paycheck looks bigger that they're making more money, but they don't take into account, like you said, economically that cost of payroll has to be passed on to the customer. Corporations aren't just going to eat that, you
Who
know.
paid the taxes on this iPhone?
What's that?
Who paid the taxes on my iPhone?
Well, that all depends. Are you
Who
talking
paid
the tariff,
the tax?
or
There's only one answer. There's only one answer. Who paid the tax on my iPhone?
then you would have?
Exactly. Apple doesn't pay taxes.
Exactly.
They pass it on to the consumer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't pay taxes technically when I sell stuff on eBay. It is built into my price.
Right, and it should be.
Now, obviously, I write the government a check, but
Mm-hmm.
I build it into the price of the good.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I mean, obviously, I'm not committing a crime. I don't want anybody to think, oh, Andrew's committing a crime here. But this is the issue where I don't think corporations are price gouging, but
No.
I think StreamYard jacks up their price from $25 to $44 a month. That is price gouging. That is a perfect example. And I like StreamYard. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to stick with them because I don't want to learn a new system right now. I
Mm-hmm.
got about 8 things going on, and in December and in January, I'm going to reevaluate. But, I want to finish my year in the same system, and then I take 3 or 4 weeks off, and I can explore options. But
Mm-hmm.
so I will bite the bullet of $88 to not torture myself in hell for
Right.
2 months. It's not going to make a difference in my life. But at the same time, when you raise up your price by 125 or 116%, that's price gouging.
Well, I think price gouging is also more where
You're stuck in an airport, and the only way you could get out is that you got to get a ticket, and they jack up the price by 200%.
right.
That's gouging.
Yeah, or if you're in an area and there was a problem and you were hit hard, and then now they're charging you $6 for a bottle of water. Okay, when I can buy a case of water for $2 where I live. Okay,
It's about $5 where I live for
okay.
20.
Well,
It's
you're in.
It's not bad. I'm in
No.
Connecticut. For 20 waters, it's still pretty dirt cheap.
Yeah, it's different areas and all that. We're gonna have different prices as far as that
If
goes.
you
But
were
that's what I'm
charging
saying is
$5 for the water, because everybody bought the water and then somebody supplied and demanded out and took all the supply away, that's price gouging.
right. Now, for example, I saw and I've seen this personally where people that have come to the country have gotten the EBT card, food stamp card, whatever you wish to call it, and I've watched them buy tons of product and then take it into their convenience store to sell it, and naturally they jack the price up to double what you'd pay in a normal store, but they've never paid. We've paid for it. Those that pay taxes have paid for their inventory, and that I don't consider price gouging, but I still consider it to be illegal. It should be, at least.
So there's a difference though, which that between illegal and price gouging. I'm not a fan of price gouging.
They both should be illegal.
Again, I agree. So I don't know anything about that. I'm sure it happens, but at the same time, plenty of people do things illegally. Plenty of people do things right too, and also plenty of people look. Everybody's done something bad to get ahead. I hate to say it. I've done things to get ahead that are frowned upon. Everybody has, and I'm not going to pretend here that I'm a saint, but I don't screw my customers, right?
Two things real quick, if you don't mind. Are you ready? With 40% in, Wisconsin is up Trump, and with 30%, it's Iowa is up.
I'm sure Seth Rollins is not happy.
Minnesota's also. He's up 16. He's up 16 points in Minnesota.
Seth Rollins is up 16 points. I didn't know he was on the ballot.
He's actually doing he was with his VP of John Cena, but you could never see him. He could never do interviews.
It was very, very funny. Did you see the interview where John Cena was in London having like tea with this like old woman grandma type? And John Cena said it. I'm John Cena. Some people sometimes can't see me. It's all right though. And like John Cena was just saying it so nonchalantly, and he was playing so into the joke. Oh my God! What a brilliant master like speaker. Some people sometimes can't see me. It's okay though. Like brilliant.
Like my John Cena tattoo right here.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, did you see?
One of my favorite comic books. It's one of my favorite comic books. That autograph book. It's a personal book. It's awesome. It's right up there with my Alexa Blisses. And then I have a Becky Lynch autograph book, which is cool. And I just bought a Paige's book, autograph book. I'm so excited to read Paige's book, Soraya's book. I'm a big WWE fan.
Okay.
Without Trump, we would probably not have WrestleMania.
Hey, he was influential. Holy crap. Okay. I can't say that one yet because Oregon's 71% Trump right now in Oregon, but we know that'll change.
It's all right though.
Mm-hmm.
This is wild.
It is.
I mean, this is wild. In which I didn't put any money on this.
No.
I put money on the Chiefs last night, and that was an exciting game. But I had like $30 on the Chiefs last night. That was stressful. That was stressful because little wizard Patrick Mahomes, sometimes he does magical things, and they won. Sorry if you didn't see the game. Spoiler alert to the story. They went into overtime. But that little Patrick Mahomes, he's a little wizard. He's a little wizard who knows how to throw a football. And God bless him. He's going to make me rich.
Mm-hmm. Two things. One, what are your thoughts on the Kelsey brother kind of snapping and breaking some dude's phone?
Which one? Jason Kelsey or Travis?
Yeah. I guess a fan was making fun of Travis, and Jason did not appreciate it and took the guy's phone, smashed it.
Did he buy him a new one?
And not that I've heard yet, but I'm sure that will be coming.
I mean, it seems so unlike Jason Kelsey. Jason Kelsey seems like a very mild-mannered, basic, normal guy who you don't know his politics. I think he seems like a religious, but not like he seems like he goes to church. He's a family guy. Like to me, like I didn't hear the story, and it just seems. I mean, I'm sure there's a video of it.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Like I don't not believe it, but like this is where I'm going with this is that it seems so out of character, right? That I have to question this because the guy seems like a nice human being. Like you ever get a vibe from somebody? Like Aaron Rodgers seems like a prick, okay? Aaron Rodgers is a prick, okay? His teammates, Aaron Rodgers is playing shitty. Aaron Rodgers like basically attacks the media. Like Jason Kelsey does not seem like a bad guy. He's like a nice guy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And Funko, when he was at that game with the Chiefs, he took off his shirt and he was like, he picked up a little girl to meet Taylor Swift in the box, and like had like someone who was just like drinking beers, like shirtless in Buffalo, shirtless. It's a really, I mean, there was a Funko, and all the money went to charity, like, and so and I'm pissed that I didn't pick one up because I didn't realize what it was until after. But again, you know, all the money went to charity. So, like, this is why I'm just like, I'm sure you did it, but at the same time, it just seems out of character.
I was very clear. You're supposed to go to the Keystone
What do I
State. Yeah, well, you disagree.
He is being investigated by the PA State Police right now. So that's what they.
I mean, let's be realistic here. I think this is the least of everybody's problems.
Yeah.
Sign a few autographs. They'll say, "I'm sorry." Buy the guy a new phone. It'll all be fine. Like this is really not a big deal. Like of all the things in the world, Jason Kelsey breaking somebody's phone is the least of my concerns. Least of them. We just need 4 more in the Senate. That's all we need.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have at least one check, but we don't have a balance yet. But no, that's so fascinating. That's so fascinating.
What I never understood is when they're calling states, and I've been checking these things as we go. They're saying already this person won, that person won, but there's only like 10 or 12% of the vote in. Why do they do that? I could see if it was 80. I could see if it was even 70-ish and it was already a blowout. But why only 10? Because in your state of Connecticut, they've already called it, and there's only 16% of the vote in. I get historical trends and all, and that's, I don't know, I think something that's a little bit on the premature side.
I mean, maybe what it is that I don't know how many people live in Connecticut, right? So we look at the popular vote, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she has 158,595 votes. Trump has 123,973. But it's also the fact that you're 16% in, but she has 55.2%. And he has 3.2%. And so, you know, maybe what it comes down to is saying, you know, statistically on a numbers position, the gap too high. Sorry, everybody. Oh, trying to fight that one off, but absolutely it was not easy. But maybe it's just a number deficit position where it's really hard to come back from 13%.
It could be. It could be. Hey, speaking of an easy fight, are you betting on the Mike Tyson?
I thought that already happened.
No, I think it's November. Shoot, don't quote me. 15th or something along that. Let me find out. Mike Tyson versus the gay person.
Versus the what? Gay person?
I didn't stutter.
I thought it was Logan Paul or Jake Paul.
Yeah.
Jake Paul's gay?
Yeah, he might as well be. The way. November 15th.
I'm happy for him. He came out. That's awesome.
November 15th.
If Jake Paul's gay, I'm all for it. That's fine with me. It doesn't change any opinion about Jake Paul. I mean, I'm not a fan of Logan. I mean, I like Logan Paul as a wrestler. I think Logan Paul is not a good person. I think he scammed a lot of people. I mean, I like Prime Energy. Prime is a fun drink every once in a while. I mean, the Aaron Judge thing tastes like a slushie. That was good. But not after his performance in the World Series. Now, I'm going to ask you, Aaron Judge, how many errors did he make in the regular season in baseball?
Are you asking me?
Yes, I'm asking you.
I don't watch sports.
0. How many errors did he make in the playoffs in the World Series? In the playoffs, not the World Series. 0. Now he made one big error in the World Series, and it really cost the whole Yankees the whole fucking World Series. Legitly, that game that he made the error in cost the whole. It caused, like, legitly, it was a series of errors that allowed the Dodgers to win. They won 3 games great, and then they freaking burned down the Yankees. Like, game 5, was a disaster. Like you could watch 20 minutes of it. It is the Yankees were an evil empire. They had 5 runs in the second inning, and then in the 5th inning, like Garrett Cole was pitching a great game, and then the Dodgers just started cracking it open. It was terrible. I mean, they should have put like 10K on the Dodgers, and it was like a plus 3,500. That means $350,000. If I put 10K on that, somebody probably did, and they probably were like, "I'm not coming in tomorrow, boss. You can't make me. I just made $350,000. You can go to hell." I should have put real money on that game, but I didn't, and that was my mistake. Live and learn. Live and learn. We can't all be perfect.
Well, I can try.
I try too. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. But no, about that. Trying to see what else has been called.
Well, PA just went most likely red with 50% in. Colorado was definitely called for coming her back.
Was it called for what?
Coming her back. Come on.
Oh, it wasn't made green?
No.
Oh, it's a shame.
One of these days she'll get one. I have faith.
I mean, she put a bunch of people in jail for it. So
yeah, that's what I don't get. That's something that actually amazes me. They know that she did this, and then they're like, "Yeah, no, we're still gonna pick that chick anyway."
Let's look at it like this, right? Arizona's blue right now, but Arizona only has 48% in. It's 50% to 49.2. It's too close to call. But if he gets Wisconsin, Iowa, Minnesota, Kansas, Georgia, North Carolina, Virginia, and Pennsylvania, that's the election, right? I think that adds up to like 100.
And honestly, at 46% in, it's saying Wisconsin. At it's only 2%, so I'm not even going to care about Minnesota yet. But he's up 17 in Minnesota already. Iowa, he's got.
Georgia is a 4-point race, and
Georgia's a lock. Yeah, Georgia's locked. North Carolina, Virginia. Yep.
North Carolina is probably a lock too. Virginia.
That's pretty close.
That go either way. But how much is in for Virginia? I'm looking it up right now.
65.
That could go either way. And then I'm looking at Kansas.
I'm checking I just checked my county in PA, and we're at 72% Trump. So,
and then Arizona, he's only down by 0.8. So that could go either way.
Yeah.
And 48% isn't, so that's not enough. If it was like 90%,
then
it could still flip. But again, it's pretty close in Arizona. So I think New Mexico is much further. It's 5% in there, so it could still go, but it's tougher. Hawaii is going red. No, Hawaii wasn't.
No. Yeah. No.
Did you know that Reagan carried Hawaii?
Really?
He carried Hawaii. It was crazy. And I think JFK carried Hawaii too.
Well, he was a Democrat.
JFK was JFK, but he was blown away. So that's the problem.
What else do you got to say?
That's wild to think that Reagan carried Hawaii.
Well, usually in Maine, Republicans get 1 out of Maine. That's usually the given. But it's looking like he's going to get 3 out of Maine instead of just the 1.
Yeah, well, Maine's a fun state.
Oh, yeah? Never been.
I don't think I've been. We should go on a date.
Hey, lobster's got to be cheap. It's right there off the shore.
I can't eat lobster.
Really?
it just like doesn't sit right with me. I don't like the like I can't eat foods that you have to cook while they're alive. I find it insane. Like I find it regressive. I really do, because you're boiling something and killing it in a pan.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of fucked up. It upsets me. Like when you cook a chicken, you killed the chicken,
Mm-hmm.
right? Cooked venison, you killed the deer. The pain is over. It's like if you're cooking a crab and you're boiling it, you are causing it pain so you can eat it.
Yeah.
It mentally disturbs me.
Yeah, I've seen them eating live octopus and everything else. That's that kind of stuff would bug me.
Live octopus?
I've seen those dishes where the octopus will, if you don't eat it quickly enough, it will strangle you. And yeah, that's a whole different thing, though.
So you have to eat it before it kills you?
There's certain dishes that are the extreme dishes that yes, it'd be like that. So.
That's wild. Like if you cook a fish, you're not gonna cook a swordfish alive.
Mm-hmm.
You usually kill the fish.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it disturbs me, and that's why I won't touch a lobster. It's not for me. Yeah. I like fish. I like meat. I like cows. I like steak. Because again, once you kill a cow or whatever you make a steak out of, the animal is dead. When you cook it, you're not hurting it anymore.
Right. What are your thoughts on doing the actual killing?
I mean, I like the fish. I don't know if I could shoot a deer.
Yeah.
It's like I like the fish, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have a problem killing a fish, but I'm not gonna go kill a deer. But also, I haven't fished in a while, right?
Mm-hmm.
I also want to buy an exotic fish tank. So at some point, I'm gonna buy really cool fish.
Nice.
I like going to PetSmart and looking at all the cool fish. I'm like, oh man, that looks like a bunch of little miniature sharks. I want to buy a whole school of them.
Yeah, we had a few before we put the turtle in. We had the saltwater fish in the tank and the different sharks. They are pretty cool. Some of them, honest to God, would come up to the top of the tank and then like bite at you while you're trying to feed them. So that's pretty awesome. But they're they're small. They don't do anything to you.
I mean, but I'm probably gonna, when I move out, I'm gonna get a cat. I might adopt a cat.
See, now that's an animal I cannot stand.
I had a cat who was a killer.
Yeah.
So her name was Misty, right? And we took out her paws, all four of her claws. I'm sorry, we didn't take out her paws. That didn't come out. So we thought she was gonna be a house cat, right?
Mm-hmm.
So back this was like 20 years ago, right? 25 years ago. So what happened is that you used to take out the claws and you declaw your animal because you want her to scratch and climb up that stuff. But she decided that I'm going to go outside and I'm going to go hunting, and she made a break for it. And so she would go out and she would catch rabbits with her paws and her teeth and everything, and she'd kill them. And then she'd bring it into the house, and we're like, no, you have to leave it in. In her younger days, she would catch birds. She caught a mole once.
Mm-hmm.
She caught rabbits, chipmunks, bunnies. You're down a wolf. She looked at a wolf, and the wolf looked at her, and the wolf decided to walk away. And we're like, this is an animal that it's a black cat, like a gray cat and she decided to stare down a wolf.
I'd have paid to see that one.
But then she decided to stare down a deer, and she realized really quickly the deer just put the nose to her, and then she realized, oh shit, like this is a lot.
Mhm.
I have to leave. But like the deer wasn't gonna like hurt her, right? Like she just realized very quickly that it was like a baby fawn
Yeah.
just staring down like a 10-pound cat.
Mhm.
And then she realized really quickly that, you know what, this is probably not a fight I'm gonna win. But like, and like she would kill, and then she'd come back to the house, and she would just like play like a pom-pom ball, as if nothing happened. So again, I want like a rescue cat in a hard life or a rescue dog. I would love to have like a black lab.
Yeah. They're mellow. You get along with them.
Mm-hmm. I have a King Charles Cavalier Spaniel. That's my parents' dog.
Mhm.
And she is a little spoiled little princess.
The brutal honesty. One dog I really want to have, but I know I never should, is a Tibetan Mastiff. If you've ever seen, they're like a bear. They're monstrously huge. They can be friendly to the family, but anybody else, they are, well, a bear. If you've never seen one, look one up later on. It's really cool. They're like 10 grand. So I mean, after this live stream takes off and you make 20 million on it, then
my dog, she's a purebred and her parents are champions. She's like a $7,000 dog.
Mm-hmm.
Now what happens that these people breed them, and they breed like 4 or 5 of them, and they want one, and they give the others away for free to good homes.
Nice.
So my dog Hope, she has an amazing home, and she's such a sweet animal, and she's so friendly, and I mean, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
The whole practice, whether it's ethical or not, but she's such a sweet animal,
Right?
such a purebred, and she just loves people. So, that's how it is. But Virginia has turned blue again.
Yeah.
Michigan's blue. But it's
Michigan?
close.
I was going to say that. Yeah.
Mhm.
49 to 48, and it's
49.7 to 48.6. It is so close.
Yeah.
It's legitimately like 13,000 votes in Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
Virginia's probably very similar. For
what-
Virginia, it is 49.5 to 48.9. I mean, it's 0.6.
Yeah.
Again, it's 1.575. It's 1,575,312 votes to 1,557,394. So again, you're talking about legitimately like 40,000 votes, give or take.
Mm-hmm.
It's even closer now. It's even closer. It's a 0.4 race in Virginia.
Mm-hmm. They're getting most of the. They don't have any from York yet, but that's not going to go so as well as we would hope. But
Arizona is similar.
Yeah.
Arizona is a 0.2 race.
But Lancaster County, PA, is a big change, and a lot more than people realize. Because, well, Lancaster is our big Amish country. And what was the thing that happened recently is they got the Amish out to vote. 100 and some thousand Amish have come out to vote. And guess which way they're not.
The Amish people always treat me nice. I mean, they're always nice. Going to an Amish store, they're always like, we're baking goods. And I'm like, oh, man, you guys bake the best shit. I mean, I don't say it like that. I say,
right.
I'm happy to see business. You guys are great.
Mm-hmm. But yeah,
they
I think
great businesses. Like the Amish are the like you can learn so much in business from the Amish.
Mm-hmm.
because they just follow good principles and they treat people great.
Yeah.
So if you ask an Amish baker to bake you a cake, you're gonna get the best cake ever. You say, "Here's what I want you to do," and then they're gonna do what you want, and it's great. Like when I get married, I'm gonna have an Amish people. I'm gonna pay them way more than I should. I'm gonna tell my wife. I'm gonna say, "You gotta trust me on this one. I'm getting it from an Amish bakery." Everybody at my wedding in that cake and for dessert is gonna be, "You did good."
Mhm.
Because I think the Amish people. You'll be like, "I want you to shut down your bakery for like 3 days. Here's a $10,000 check, and this is what I want." And you're like, "Sir, it's gonna cost us $3." I know. I
Mhm.
want it. You do it the way it's supposed to be done. Here's a $10,000 check, and I want my desserts.
Oh,
I'll do
yeah,
it.
okay.
I know you don't drink, but it's a good time to start.
Right.
But no, what were you saying about Pennsylvania with the Amish?
Oh no, they are what's going to push PA red. I can almost guarantee it. I think Virginia's going to flip back. It's not going to be an issue there. Wisconsin's getting called for.
Arizona just flipped
Trump.
back.
Yeah, Wisconsin
This
just
is
went red.
Wild. This is wild.
Mhm.
Again, people said it was going to be a landslide. It's not a fucking landslide.
Not yet.
If he loses, it's going to be by like 10 votes.
Hmm.
10 electoral college votes. I mean, again, I'm trying to see what's going on right now.
Hmm.
Again, the GOP in the Senate has 48 to 36.
Hmm.
And they've lost one seat. They're probably going to lose in Montana, another one.
Minnesota was not originally red, correct?
Minnesota. I'm looking at this right now. Just
Because he's up 20 in Minnesota.
I'm looking it up right now. I'm looking up the Senate because the Senate's way more interesting, right?
Yeah, and Michigan's gotten a lot closer already. So
Royce White is beating Amy Klobuchar.
Klobuchar.
Yeah, thank you.
That's what I do.
That's crazy. Again, in Minnesota, is a blue state because Claire McCaskill's from there. I like Claire McCaskill. She and Gillibrand don't get along. They had serious disagreements on military sexual assault. They're both Democrats. Which shows where Gillibrand wanted to bring it outside the military and McCaskill wanted to keep it in the military. And it was not a Republican Democrat issue. It was what is best for the country, what is best for the military, what is best for sexual assault victims. It is a complicated topic. Because if you have somebody who's been sexually assaulted in the middle of the Indian Ocean, what do you do?
Yeah, where do you? Well, I mean, you'd think they'd have technical jurisdiction, but that's a whole different. I don't have the legal.
It's not a legal problem. It's a location problem. Because if you bring it back to the states, then you have to bring soldiers back off of a Air Force carrier in the middle of the Indian Ocean, which means you got to fly them out by helicopter. Then you got to get them to the closest military base, and you got to get them over to U.S. soil, and that becomes a military logistics nightmare. Versus actually having a trial on the ship. And also having proper military command chain issues. I mean, this was my first task when I was an intern at the Veterans of Foreign Wars. Is I'm writing a white paper, and the rest of my classmates are like, "We're in the mailroom in our congressional offices." I'm like, "I'm writing a fucking white paper. What are you guys doing?" And like, all my classmates were like, "Wait a second, you're actually doing work." And it's fun because when you're in a military organization, you're handed, and obviously I didn't serve for those who are seeing this. I didn't serve, but you're in a military organization that operates a certain way. Where really within a week, I'm getting to work. Like it's no longer like because again, most people with their internships in congressional offices, It's great that you worked for your representative. I'm so happy for you. But you're doing mailroom work, or you're maybe doing a correspondence letter,
Mm-hmm.
white paper on military sexual assault. And then my second internship was at Student Veterans of America, again, building databases, doing, scoring essays for grants, doing
Mm-hmm.
real work, right? I'm an employee not getting paid. So again, though, you learn a lot of shit faster. And a bunch of people in my group are like, we're in congressional offices, and I'm like, I'm not. I'm actually doing shit that's important. But I like Claire McCaskill. I think she retired or something happened, but that's crazy that a Republican is beating Democrat in Minnesota. Minnesota's that's wild.
But I am going to have to get going.
Yeah. Where can people find you? Where can people hit you up? Where can people engage with you? All that fun stuff.
Oh, the usual. Laughing Rogue on pretty much all the social medias. Laughing Rogue PA on the X with the last bastion of freedom of speech.
Well, we're just going to give a quick update. So Montana went red for Trump. He's at 198.
Very good.
Minnesota is still in play, but it was expected. This is not anything new.
Mm-hmm.
Utah is red. Wyoming is red. Texas has flipped blue. No, Texas has not flipped blue.
New Mexico did. But.
New Mexico right now is still blue, but we'll just quickly look at it. New Mexico is probably going to stay blue.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Virginia's blue. Michigan has gone red.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, Pennsylvania is trending towards Trump. Michigan's trending towards Trump. Wisconsin, Minnesota, Iowa, Kansas, Arizona, Georgia, and North Carolina are all trending toward that. Maine has gone blue.
Mm-hmm.
New Mexico is still blue. Virginia is still blue. And, the usual suspects are usually viewed. So Vermont has been called. Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, and D.C. have all been called for Kamala.
Of course.
Then we're at 198. We know that California is going to go to Kamala. She's at 112 right now. Oregon is going to go probably to her. Good chance Washington. Idaho is going to go for most likely Trump. And Nevada is probably going to go. Actually, Nevada is going to be interesting.
Mm-hmm. Every point counts.
What's your prediction before I let you go, before I wrap up? Where do you think all this is going to go? Because where do you think Arizona is going to go? Kansas is going to go? Minnesota, Iowa, Wisconsin, Michigan. Michigan just went back to blue. Because that's what I want to know, and that's what everybody else wants to know.
Arizona will drop red. Minnesota the same. Iowa's the same. It's going to be going red. New Mexico, I think, is going to stay blue. It's going to come down to probably just over 270 for Trump's side. It's not going to be the landslide that people are calling. I think it's just going to be a scrape by. That's what I'm calling.
Sounds good. You think we're going to get the results at like 3 a.m?
Next Tuesday.
Of 2027.
2027, yeah. After they finish counting all the ballots. After they finish.
That's what Ben Shapiro said. We'll get the results in 2027, everybody.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think that wraps up. Spoke a lot about this. I'm sure people are going to hate me for this. It is what it is. So this is kind of what we're talking about, and we're gonna run with it. And that's everything. I'm probably gonna stay on for a little bit, and I'm just gonna go through some stuff, talk about some stuff, see what else is going on. If anybody else wants to talk about the election, but you get the hell out of here. Would it be a team player? No, I absolutely get it. Go check out Laughing Rogue and everything they do. They make great board games. You don't have to be a Republican to enjoy them. Remember, tabletopping is for everybody. Just don't tabletop me and we'll be fine. Hey, you can make it sexual. You cannot make it sexual. Somebody broke my arm that way. It was not a fun day. It hurt a lot. So don't tabletop me, and we'll be good. But you could play tabletop games with me, and that's perfectly fine.
Well, you
Yeah,
got to just drive down to York next weekend. We'll be here waiting.
Sounds good, everybody. And remember, we all have to be unified. And tomorrow, if Trump is declared president, say the president, go troll somebody. It'll be fun.
I do it anyway. We'll see you, bud.
So I just want to look at the map here. I'm going to update the map, see what's going on with the map. Just going to refresh this, see where we're at here. Obviously, this is the presidential race here. So obviously, we got a lot of stuff in play. Georgia is right there for those who are interested. It's 51.2 to 48.1. Obviously, North Carolina is similar. Pennsylvania is really, really close. Michigan has gone back now, which is wild. Wisconsin is going back. Obviously, Minnesota is going to be a runaway, but only 4% is reported. Iowa, 51% is reported, and Iowa is going to be a runaway, but it's only 6 electoral votes. And then obviously we have this right here, which is a deadlock, pretty tight race right there. And we got that in play. Obviously Maine. I don't know why that was cut off. It's hard to see what, but yeah, Maine is pretty tight as well. And so a lot of stuff's going on. Virginia just flipped back for those who are interested, but again, really close. I mean, super close in these states. Just to take a look at Virginia here. I mean, it's super close. It's super close, and there's only so much reporting here that's going on. Obviously, he's at 204, and you got to get to 270. Let's go take a look at the governorship here. Obviously, the GOP picked up some governorships, which is always good. In this position, or maybe it's not good. That's not the correct position here. The House, we're there. We got a lot of stuff to still deal with. Obviously, a lot of House races in play here. The Senate, theoretically, you need 50 for majority, but it's also who's in power. So if you have 51, but the Democrats win the presidency, but you're the GOP, 3 more, you then don't need a tiebreaker vote. So we have that in play. Obviously, that's Ted Cruz has really outperformed his opponent, which was a close race. That was an eye for a flip. So I think there's 2 races in Nebraska. That independent's really interesting in that regard. Again, John Tester has been really pushed. But again, there is only 4% reporting on that race. Obviously, we got Amy Klobuchar is kind of getting pounded a little bit there, which is really interesting. That's kind of crazy that Dave McCormick is beating Bob Casey, but super close race, super close. And then Bernie Sanders obviously is an independent. Angus King is looking really good right now, beating his opponent. And then that's just really interesting. So we're actually going to probably have about three independents, and that's super interesting. And then right now, what's going on in Arizona is Kari Lake is getting kind of destroyed here with 49% reporting. So that's really interesting. And then Ohio, obviously, Bernie Monroe is beating Sharon Brown. But again, close race and with 82% reporting. So $480 million for a race in Ohio. But that's kind of everything that's going on with this. A lot of cool stuff in play. Really interesting. But again, that's where we're at. And I kind of want to just talk about this and handle it and do all sorts of stuff and kind of check out what's going on with election night. So that's kind of everything that I got going on. And appreciate everybody watching. My thoughts, obviously hanging out with my friend Chris Brown. And I'm going to go watch the rest of this election because it's getting good. It's getting good. And we're definitely winding down here. And it's still anybody's race. It's anybody's race. And obviously, I think it's trending one way. But we're going to find out what it looks like in the next probably 4 or 5 hours. So thank you, everybody, for watching. And we'll catch you on the next one, probably my Friday show. And Thanks so much, and I will catch up with everybody later.